What's up, people? We're live. How's it going? Welcome back to another DC20 RPG Rule Reveal live stream. Maybe I should come up with a smoother name than that. It's kind of long. But we got some stuff to share about weapons and armor, people. Oh, big topic. A lot of people care about, especially them marshals. Getting the love for those marshals. You just wait. So, here's first of all, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to say hi to the people that are here. Welcome. Thanks for coming early to stream. Appreciate that. The rundown of how this works in general is we start off with the rules that I'm going to go over, and in general, it's going to be weapons and armor and how defense works. And then I'm going to try and have that be the first half. Usually I end up just talking too much because I love explaining these rules and showing you guys stuff. And then once that topic's covered, I open it up to questions and stuff, usually about the topic at hand or things I've talked about already. And if we haven't talked about already, you need to stay tuned then, because this is part 6. I have 5 of these other live streams about all the rules of the game so far that I'm kind of starting to slowly kind of reveal and talk about, right? And as always, if you're really interested in DC20 RPG and you want to help support it happen, Patreon's the number one best way to do that. And the patrons are literally how this is possible. I would not be able to make this game system without them, so thank you, and props to all of you for that. Y'all are awesome. And tomorrow is the DC20 RPG game design live stream, where I actually am designing the game live on stream. So anyway, with all that out of the way, let's say what's up to some people. Horse in the Sands, you're early birds, all the early birds. Thank you, Horse. Monica Cunningham says, so excited, my whole table loves your content, DC. Thank you, Monica. That makes my heart warm. Cody Cook, what's up, Cody? Stay tuned for your emails here in sometime in a week or so. Phoenix Tabletop with the awesome what's that called? Blog with the awesome article post on DC20 RPG. Bugs here. Samuel Flynn is here. Brandon's here. I wonder if your other half's here, Brandon. I don't know. I haven't seen your other half yet. Wolves, how are you doing, Wolves? Grand Old Dwarf, always with the bow. Terry Guerrez, what's up? What's up? Liam's here. Let's go. Crazy. Wait. I'm here due to some unexpected expenses. I can't. Liam, you don't have to go crazy with the super chats, bro. I appreciate that you're worried about not being able to super chat, but don't worry about that, bro. You have super chatted enough for really forever. You are crazy, man. I appreciate you. And that reminds me, how super chats work is any super chats deal damage to the boss right here. Damage dealt to the boss. Whoever kills the boss becomes the next boss. And if we hit the stream goal, I give away things on the on the Dungeon Codes website, DC20 RPG stuff. We're going to get with you, whoever the winner is, and talk about whatever you want, whether it's shipping you a book of some kind, or store credit on the website, or DC20 Alpha stuff, or whatever you want, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to try and appreciate you guys back for appreciating me, and just share the appreciation. Death Witch, what's up? Philip Fox. Man, we got a bunch of faces here. Bold, not bald. Love that name. Finally able to catch one of these live. Welcome, Bold, not bald. I just love saying that name. Caleb, what's up? I've been here for every live stream, so I guess I'll say hi at least once in chat. Hi, Caleb. Caleb W with the W in the chat. I couldn't really do that W with the W in the chat. Y'all know that game, or that the thing we did as kids? If you're maybe old enough, I don't know how. I'm kind of in the middle of age. Loser, double loser, as if whatever. I did the loser. I was holding a pencil, and whenever I went to do the loser, double loser, as if when I did the whatever, I shanked myself with a pencil, and I have a piece of lead somewhere in my hand. It's either on this side or that side. I don't know which one, but maybe it's still there. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's bad. Let's go, bro. Whoa, Brandon starts off with a $10 super chat and is now the boss. There we go. Appreciate that, Brandon. Starting it off. And with super chats, if you want to ask questions about DC20 RPG, you can ask questions about anything through a super chat, and I will answer that question to the best of my abilities with whatever's going on right now. Which in general, y'all, I'm about to show you guys, but pretty much the whole game is developed, and that sounds kind of crazy to say. We'll get to that. And there's lots of other things I want to build on top of that, and a whole bunch of other systems I want to add. So there's plenty more where this came from. So there we go. And then what else we got? Who else we got here? Terry, we already saw that. We have Evan Diaz. What's up, Evan? Spark, checking the email too for you, bro. You Takashi, let's go. What's up? Sam Bros, let's go. Love your streams. Thanks, bro. Daniel Husel. Daniel Husel. I like the name, yeah. I'm sorry if that was offensive. I just like saying things in funny ways. And Bogella. Okay, let's go. Yes. Drunkard Farnhan. TTRPG nerds. Welcome to some more excited to see some more innovative rules. Let's go. Hand of Lead. That's funny. And Samuel Skavarski. Skavarski. That sounds like the YouTuber guy. Are you that YouTuber guy? Hey, there are good things about waking up at 2 a.m. for a flight. Hey, let's go. Wow, another time zone. Love to hear it. All right, so here's how this is going to go now. I've said my what's ups, and now we're shifting over to there we go, to the alpha page. This is the alpha, and this is all of the things right here. There we go. Purple means ready to go to the to show my team, right? And let the team be able to see it and kind of give feedback and other things like that. Some people in the chat right now, like I was talking about with Cody and Spark, are being brought on in some ways to review the alpha. There's about 8 to 10 people right now that I'm pulling in to review the alpha 0.3. As you see, it's a 0.3 document. They'll review it, and then I'll make it into the 0.4 document, and then that is the document that the patrons are going to be able to get access to. So we are very close. Purple is what we want. We have all these purples. Spells, lots of stuff to do with spells, so stand by on that one, because spells are spells, and there's just so many spells, and I want to make sure that they are using the new innovative structure that we have done for that. And we have 2 little things in orange for Purius, 2 little things in blue for me that will be knocking out one of these tomorrow in the live stream, and there's the big rundown. So now we're getting into, here's the rules. Everything in yellow. Horse hands, you're back. Let's go. You so literally can't wait. So many purples. I know. So this right here is the, everything in yellow is what we've already, ooh, water. That's the first sign of water. Okay. I just want to talk about this to so many people and I get so excited. Yellow is what we've already talked about in previous live streams, so check out parts 1 through 5 if you're interested in those little parts right there. There's that. And the blue is what we're shooting for to go through tonight. So there's that. Bob Vecna, sorry you're late. I know. Hey, I used to be a teacher, so my tardy policy, it's all good. I never was a stickler for tardies. I was not a, you know what I'm saying. All right, so here we go. Physical and mental defense is the new armor class. And what's funny about this, I literally didn't know how this whole thing timed out. I just filmed today the video for, like, the actual YouTube video for physical defense and all of that. So it's kind of funny and ironic that I literally filmed that video today, and now in the live stream, just hours later, we're talking about it again. So I'm super fresh on this topic. And here's how I'm going to break it down. And also now, just further structure of this is in the chat, y'all can chit chat, talk to each other. I love seeing y'all talk to each other about this game. And it's also really crazy at this point where y'all ask, I can see questions being asked, and then you guys answer the question and you're correct. That's just mind-blowing for me. I think that's crazy, right? You know, it happens all the time in D&D where somebody asks a question about the D&D rules and you answer, and people know. And, like, just the fact that y'all are understanding the game that's being made is crazy to me. I don't know. I never thought about that. That would be so crazy. All right, so anyway. When I'm going through one of these pockets of rules, I'm going to try and stay right here, go through the breakdown of what this rule is, and then I'll go back to the chat. We'll talk about it, see what's going on, all that kind of stuff, and then back to it. So, without further ado, here we go. So, physical and mental defense. The first thing is armor class is gone. Whenever we first started this, we called it armor class because there's just, like, that's what it is. Pathfinder says armor class, D&D says armor class, it's armor class. People know what armor class is. But I think it's dumb. The word armor class is just not a smart word for it, right? So in the English language, which is a terrible language, we all should know this, right? But also I've seen other things about other languages have these weird, stupid things. So I feel like somebody could make a better language. But anyway, the word right in the English language, right? The word right is usually, it can mean multiple things. It could mean correct, right? Like, is it like this? Right. No, that's right. And it also could mean right as in left and right, which I think that's just terrible because especially directional, like card ups. Oh man, come on. So anyway, when you use a word, it should have one meaning. And when you're a game designer creating a game and you use a word, it should have one meaning. Because if it doesn't, and I've been very careful with this with creating DC20 RPG, my team's also very good at carefully using words and making sure it all means something, right? And whenever you say something, it's so clear what it means, right? So armor class is a bad name. It's just empirically a bad thing to call someone's physical defense, which that's what we call it. We call it physical defense. But anyway, so armor class, first of all, armor. Okay, cool. I get it. Now armor is referencing things having to do with your armor. So then that also limits it to a physical application and not a magical, technically, application, which we'll get to that in a second. But also the word class, like class already has a connotation in the game. Class in D&D, Pathfinder, DC20, classes are druid, barbarian, fighter, warlord in this case. Those are classes. So if you have an armor class, that's just a bad. No, it's just a bad name. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, psionics are a whole class, and we'll get into that. And then psionics are a whole big thing. I just happened to see that. So yeah, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right? So in DC20, we are calling it physical defense, and we're calling it, the big picture of it, defense, because it's your protection against things. It's your defense, right? But it gets one step farther than that, and this is where my favorite part comes in. There are two types of defense: physical defense and mental defense. Just like there's two types of classes in DC20: martial characters and spellcasters. Martial characters, physical; spellcasters, magical, mental, right? You have physical stats of might and agility. You have mental stats of charisma and intelligence. Physical checks, mental checks. Physical defense, mental defense. Do you see how intuitive I'm trying to make this game be for people to pick up and understand, and it just be obvious what things happen? So there is physical defense and mental defense. Physical defense, in fact, let's actually do this. Let's get into it. Defense here. So we're actually in the actual alpha document. Physical defense here, I'm going to try and limit it to just, we'll give it to just that, right? I don't want you to get too ahead of me here. Physical defense is the difficulty of hitting a creature with natural sources of damage. I'll explain what that means here in a second, that affect the body. These types of damage, right? Now, this is not hard coded as in like it's always these, but in general, it's like this, right? So acid damage, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, obviously physical. Come on. Fire, natural. That's what I mean by natural. Fire is something found in nature. Poison, toxins, all these things that are natural means of damage is going against your physical defense. If a wizard shoots a little burst of fire at you, right? Hold up, I'm going to come back to here. If a wizard bursts a little of fire at you and you have a shield, you would have understandably be able to raise that shield. The fire splashes off the shield and you're able to defend against it in some way. That would target physical defense. Yes, right? You see what I'm saying with this, right? So your physical defense is going to protect you against those types of things where having armor on, right? And that's that's the differentiation there is I just want you to picture a knight in shining armor, a full plate mail. Would it help to wear that or not? You know what I'm saying, right? So anyway, in general, and blocking it physically, right? That's physical defense. And then, we also have mental defense. There's mental defense. Mental defense, it represents of hitting a creature with supernatural sources that target the mind or soul in some way, right? So this is something like psychic damage. I don't care how much armor that knight's wearing, full plate mail, whatever. If I'm a scion, we just talked about scion. If I'm a scion and I look at their mind and I'm mind blasting you, assaulting your mind, doesn't matter how much armor you have. I'm attacking your mind. How resilient is your mind? That has to do with intelligence and charisma. The stats, the four attributes in the game, right? Agility, strength, might, agility, intelligence, charisma. These protect your mind. These protect your body. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's all ooh, right? And then same thing, like a light, a shining light of radiance opens up from the heavens and shines down like a pillar on burning you. It doesn't matter. Armor, you're not going to be able to avoid that. You know what I'm saying? It is light searing onto you, the holy light damage. How well are you able to resist pure supernatural magic effects only? Necrotic, the necromancer in front of you trying to wither you and erode you away and suck the like water out of your skin and erode you, right? Curse you, whatever way. That damage from these sources. Again, all of this is referencing damage. Damage. This is only in regards to damage, because if you've watched these other live streams, how combat works in DC20, or one of the many facets of these cool little things we've added to DC20, is damage is always attack rolls or spell checks, rolls versus defense. I, as the damage dealer, am rolling a number to try and hit a defense, whether it be mental or physical defense, right? If I'm a Scion, I'm rolling something, and I'm going to try and hit high enough on your mental defense. Remember the by fives thing we talked about as well? Every 5 you exceed your defense by adds another point of damage. So if I'm doing a psychic attack for 2 damage, bow, right? I'm targeting your mental defense, not your physical defense. You will have 2 different numbers for that, right? I'm targeting your mental defense, which might be a strategic smart move as well, to the big huge guy in armor or the big giant dumb ogre or whatever, right? I'm targeting the mental defense. I have a base damage of 2. Bow. I roll my damage. I'm trying to get as high as I can. Every 5 I beat their mental defense by, pop, adds on to the damage. See what I'm saying? And the same thing's true for physical defense, mental defense. There we go. And it's all has to do with damage. If you missed any other previous live streams, saving throws is what has to do with effects. So being slowed and stunned and slowed, any sort of, prone, slowed, stunned, prone, grapple, all those type of effects, conditions have to do with saves and saving throws, which happen at the same time. So that's a whole nother topic of a live stream that I already covered. Because if we go back to here and we look at here, dynamic attack saves where were dynamic attack saves? Attack save, disadvantage, maneuvers and techniques, types of rolls in combat. There we go. Attack saves, dynamic attack saves right here. So I think that was live stream number 4, if I remember correctly. But anyway, that's if you want to go check that out. So there we go, physical mental defense. Now, how do you calculate it? Here's how you calculate it, right? Physical defense. You have a base of 8. That is just everyone has a base. A commoner walking the streets has a base armor class of 8, right? And then in D&D, side note, timeout. In D&D, if you have the best armor you possibly can, full plate mail or whatever it is, that's armor class 18, right? Or let's use 17 as an example, right? If you pick up a piece of armor, and that armor that you found on the ground or bought from a store because you have a whole bunch of gold or whatever, if you have a piece of armor that was given to you, and you're level 1, and you meet the very, very small might requirement of wearing that armor, if you can wear that armor, you now have an armor class of 17. You're level 1, and you're wearing it, and you have an armor class of 17. You level up to level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. You're level 20 in the same armor, and your armor class is the same. That's dumb. I can't do that. I'm sorry. As your attack roll increases, and this is when I've gone down like putting my game designer hat on and doing all this game design stuff. How on earth does an attack roll in D&D scale with level over time through proficiency, through gaining attributes, but then your armor class is just super static, right? And then but you can get +1, +2, +3 armor classes. Sure, but why is that anyway? See what I'm saying? So base armor class of 8, and then you add your combat mastery is what this CM stands for. Combat mastery is half your level, right? So if you're level 6, your combat mastery is 3. Cool. So your armor class so far, let's just say you're level 10. So level 10, half of 10 is 5, and your base is 8. 8 plus 5, 13. Armor class is 13. Awesome, right? And you haven't even put on armor yet. Technically, you know what I'm saying? You're just an experienced adventurer, a level 10 person. A level 10 person in no armor would have higher armor than a commoner. That makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, and now the cool part here is light and heavy armor. In DC20, just like these symmetry that you've seen in these split dualities, these balanced dualities of 2, right? Like the Sith code, there must always be 2. That's not why I did the... Okay, anyway. So there's light armor and there's heavy armor. Light armor, nimble, moving around, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Heavy armor, strong, stand there, taking hits. What two stats, what two attributes do you think govern these two things? Again, there's 4 stats in the game: might, agility, intelligence, charisma. So light armor is agility. So if you're wearing light armor, you add your agility to your armor class. Great. If you're wearing heavy armor, you add your might to your armor class. If you're wearing light armor, you add your agility to your physical defense. If you're wearing heavy armor, you add your might to your physical defense. Strong might, nimble agility, right? And that also is added right here, as you see, might or agility. And it says or, not because you get to choose, although technically you can choose wearing light or heavy armor depending on if you can, what you have, mastery to be able to wear. But it's might or agility depending on the armor you wear. Might for heavy, agility for light, and then +1. +1. This is plus your armor. Armor bonus. Right. In general, that +1 is light armor is just a simple +1, heavy armor is a simple +3, and then that goes up from there. But I'll show you the armor chart here in a second. Right. So I'm gonna do a quick timeout on the, there we go. Sorry, I typed it out. I was pointing at this here. Right. My bad. So 8 combat mastery. It says might or agility, because you are using might for heavy armor, agility for light armor, and then there's the armor bonus, and that is what has to do with the armor, how good the armor is, how well made the armor is it magical armor, all that stuff, right? So there we go. So now, time out. I'm going back to the chat here and seeing what people are chatting about. All right, and then what else we got? What we got? Liam. System will work well with my cousin who's running a Pokemon themed game. Oh yeah, especially the classes. Just wait till you see the classes. You could definitely do some stuff with Pokemon for the classes there too. Can you repeat the formula for physical defense and mental defense? I'm gonna get Liam. I'm gonna show both formulas at the same time because I haven't talked about mental defense yet. Once I talk about mental defense, I'll show both formulas at the same time, so you can snag it right there. I must know when the alpha is dropping, Samuel. So right now, my proposed timeline of my estimate here is. I want to get the alpha to my team by the end of this week, and then they have a 2-week review phase. I give them 2 weeks to be able to they have 2 weeks to be able to kind of pull all their feedback together and really dive through the entire document, give their feedback on everything. I'm giving them two weeks to do that, and then I am giving myself 2 weeks to go through that and kind of prune things. And sometimes if there's some sort of feedback, the feedback is really one of 3 things from everybody that's coming and giving feedback. The feedback will either be like, we can't do that because of these reasons already, and the feedback's not used, or, oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing feedback, of course, yes, and we do the change, or it's in this gray area spot, and then we'll have to talk about it and go back and forth. So some of those, it depends on how many of those happen, right? Over time, less and less of those are going to happen, and it's as the game becomes more set and more established, right? And we kind of see the vision of what DC-20 is, which already is just, I can see it. If you propose a rule, I'm gonna already know I know the pulse of this game so well to see if that's like not on brand. That's not the word I'm looking for, but within the pocket of what the system is, right? And then once that's done, and it's like, all right, sweet, awesome, boom, sending it to Mark, and then Mark will get it and he turns it into a PDF, and that's what's dropping to patrons. So that is how that goes, and that's what's dropping to the higher tier patrons for the alpha, because of the alphas. I want it to be a smaller thing, so for feedback purposes, so I can get a bunch of feedback and polish it off a little bit more before it goes to beta, and that's going to be a larger audience. But then also other tiers on Patreon are going to get little like Unearthed Arcana drops where I show that kind of early type stuff. So anyway, there's the whole rundown on that, Samuel. Boom. Whoa, did we get raided? Did we get raided? What? We got raided. Oh, that's funny, Mr. King Awesome. What's up, man? That's funny. I don't know if we've ever been raided. Welcome, people. Welcome. That's funny. Mr. King, you are awesome. Mr. Oh, that's funny. Mr. Ling, awesome. But appreciate you, man. And then D&D for me. Okay, cool. Guys, you must know when the alpha dropping. Okay, cool. And we are back. Let's go. So now that is physical defense. Let's get back into yes, Scott Nuffer. This is live, bro. What are you talking about, Scott? Let's go. Agile Monk, what's up? What's up, Agile Monk? Let's go. Home, the deep bow for you as well. That's what's up. All right, cool. So now back to physical defense. Another thing with physical defense, and this is a very an awesome nugget that I absolutely love about physical defense. Heavy armor has damage reduction. And now, some magical light armors could, other sort of class features can. There's different things that grant damage reduction. But how damage reduction works in DC-20 is amazing. The idea came to me as I'm walking my son in a dark room with a red light that's going... And I was like... I just got hit with an idea like lightning, and it was crazy. So this is the... I love how damage reduction works in DC-20. So, how it works is, as you guys know, let me do a little rule refresher, and let's see if you guys remember this. If you get hit in combat, you take damage. Oh, of course, right? So if your armor class is 15, and you get hit by an attack roll of 15, right? That hits. 16, 17, 18, 19, all of that is a hit. But 20... exceeds the armor class by 5, right? And every time you exceed the armor class by 5, you deal an additional point of damage. But there's actually words, there's codified words, like we talked about earlier, how words mean something, right? So in DC-20, if you get hit by 5 over your armor class, it's not just a hit, it's a heavy hit. Heavy hits are 5 and above your armor class and deal an additional point of damage. They're called heavy hits because you've dealt 5 over the armor class, and that's a heavy hit. Ba-bang, done, right? So heavy hits deal 1 point of damage. Brutal hits deal 2 points of damage. Whoa, 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 and you see what I'm saying. So, how damage reduction works is if your armor class is 15 and you have damage reduction of 1. Let's say I have a damage reduction of 1, because again, the damage scale in this game is much lower, right? So a damage reduction of 1 is actually pretty solid, right? Especially when on small hits or multiple small hits, you're going to be able to block a lot of damage with even a damage reduction of 1. So if your damage reduction is 1, you get hit the 15, you have an armor class of 15, you get hit, and it deals 3 damage. Let's just say it deals 3 damage. Okay, it deals 3 damage, but wait, you have a damage reduction of 1. So the 3 minus 1, 2 damage. Yes, awesome. My damage reduction is great. But your damage reduction only applies to hits, not heavy hits or above, right? Because heavy hits, exceeding your armor class by 5, bypasses your armor and goes through that damage reduction, and you get hit, right? You got hit in the sweet spot. Your armor is not that buffer of 5, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all of that is a hit, minus 1 damage, of course, right? But 20 exceeds that by 5. No, that is not the... So that damage reduction does not apply to heavy hits and above, so it bypasses damage reduction. Super cool. And also makes damage reduction not just broken, and always subtract 1 damage from everything, right? So if the little goblin that only deals 1 damage, right? If he gets in there and gets a heavy hit on you, that blade slipped through the plates of your armor and you got stabbed. You know what I'm saying? Right? Now, you still have a bunch of armor, you still have all this stuff, and you're going to be blocking attacks all the time with damage reduction. But I think that's a cool way to handle that. So there is damage reduction in DC-20, right? Now, whoa. Hey, hold up. Hold up. Agile Monk. I already did the deep bow, but let's see if I can go even deeper. Okay. That was my forehead on the tape. So there you go. I've gotten a... there we go. Appreciate you, Agile Monk. And he doesn't even ask a question for anything. Just purely a gift of a hippo jumping out of a treasure chest and making it rain. That is now the image that I am picturing you bow in my head right now, of a hippo with sunglasses going like that. Appreciate it, Agile Monk, for real. Everything in these live streams for DC-20 go to fund DC-20 and all of that. So I appreciate you there. Let's go. Yeah, a Grand Old Dwarf. I knew you had to have said that before I was saying it, because Grand Old Dwarf is one of the front runners of knowledge about DC-20. So let's go. And then does want to demonstrate. Exactly. Agile Monk throws down a super chat to demonstrate. I love it. So would barding or animal armor be called as the same rule apply in the physical defense increase? Yeah. So physical defense applies to all sorts of creatures, right? So if you put armor on your horse, you can put armor on a horse for sure. And maybe that armor has damage reduction. Sure. And all of that applies across the board. Every 5 by 5s, all that stuff, right? So done. Yes, and Grand Old Dwarf Granaldorf comes in and says the same thing I said. Me and Granaldorf, we're so synced up. We're so synced up, bro. All right. So back to the chart here, right? So mental defense. Here's your mental defense formula. And for anyone who's interested, there is both of the formulas on the screen right now. Bada bing, bada boom, right? So for mental defense, it's going to follow a similar and intuitive formula. Mental defense, how well you are to ward off supernatural magics, usually pertaining to psychic damage, holy damage, unholy damage, and force damage. Also, for the record, I've changed the names of radiant and necrotic damage to holy and unholy. I really like that better. Holy damage, I just think holy damage is better than radiant. I understand radiant gets across the whole light situation. I get it, but a lot of times light in that type of way can be fire. You know, like you can rule as fire, and holy really gets the divine aspect of this. So I like holy better, and its mirror, its opposite, unholy. I think holy and unholy damage are a better pairing than radiant and necrotic, because a lot of times necrotic doesn't really hit the unholy vibe that I'm wanting in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to curses or whatever. So those are the two damage types as far as a translation there goes, right? So. And then, but back to mental defense. So mental defense starts off with a base of 8. You add your combat mastery onto it, which is half your level, like we said, plus your charisma attribute and your intelligence attribute. You add both of them. It's not one for this or one for that, like for armor. It's you add your agility and da 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 da, and for heavy armor you add your might da 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 da. The only difference here, if you look at the formulas, is for heavy armor, it's the same. These two parts are the same. 8 plus combat mastery, 8 plus combat mastery, right? But then the difference here is for physical defense, you add one of these and then you get an armor bonus, right? And then here you add just both of these because there is no armor, you know what I'm saying, that you're wearing on your mind. Now, there could be magic items, there could be necklaces, there could be rings, there could be lots of trinkets and jewelries and whatever, and crowns and other magical types of armor that add to your mental defense. But how cool is that you now have two different types of defenses that you can create magic items around, increasing magical defense, increasing physical defense, etc. Right? Super cool. And there's even like classes and class features that can interact and mess with that as well. So there we go. Ion stones, exactly. Right? Aluminum caps, yes. Tinfoil. If you get tinfoil around your head and crumple it on there, it instantly increases your mental defense by 1 every single time. Love that, Scott. Yes, exactly. So there is physical and mental defense. Boom, right? So that is now any questions on that, or as far as mental physical defense? I wanted to kind of shift and go to the chat real quick to see before I go on to armor, weapon, and armor, right? Because you got to kind of know about physical and mental defense before we talk about weapons and armor. Any thoughts on that as I get a sip of water? Oh, $2 super chat from Liam. Liam, stop super chatting, bro. I told you. Stop super. You're good, bro. You're good. Burning question: how do shields affect the formula? Oh, shields is a part of your armor bonus, and shields is a +1 or 2. There's light shields and heavy shields. Light shields is are +1. Heavy shields are +2 or 3. But that hasn't been added to the game yet. So light shields, heavy shields, that just is another add onto your armor bonus. Yes, and that does add to your armor bonus. You don't have to like use an action to be able to gain the bonus or whatever. You choose to use a shield, you're gaining physical defense because you're choosing to wear a shield. Sweet, right? Done. Brandon loves this better than armor class. Tinfoil brain. Let's go. What's up, Mai? Yes, see, exactly. Necrotic makes me think of physical ailments like decaying flesh, while unholy can be necrotic, but also the draining and shedding of the soul. My. Thank you for that. Exactly, exactly. You just put into words exactly what I was saying, yes. Sweet. And then never like the term armor class. Let's go. Best girl Jordan Fish. Let's go. What's up? Dope. Sweet. Cool. All right. Sweet. And yeah, the tower shield is something that me and Purius are working on and want to put into the game, but we want to make sure that it's like has negative repercussions as well, right? So anyway, is there a max to physical mental defense? A max? I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody out there that figures out like, if you take this class and these features and this would be the. I can't wait for people to do that to this game, dude. I cannot wait for people to min-max the hell out of this game. That's gonna be so cool. So cool. Good luck breaking it. Good luck. But yeah, there's not a max as far as that goes. There's lots of things to add to it, and there's, you know what I'm saying? So let's go. All right. And then, so interesting. Are there spell effects right now that target both mental and physical defense at the same time? So Terry, I'd say no. There's not a single effect so far, like one effect that affects both. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't think of one that would affect both, right? Unless you're talking about some sort of like supernatural thing of both. The first thing that pops in my head is that one pillar of flame, that one pillar of flame ability that clerics have that deals both fire and holy damage, right? But that would target either mental defense or physical defense. It's not going to target both, because then that gets super clunky. And then you're to have make an attack roll. Do you make two different attack rolls, then target each, and then you have to figure that out, and then do the by fives math for both, and that just sounds terrible, right? So anytime that there would be some sort of like holy and fire damage, because I could there's actually a spell in the game right now that we have that deals holy and fire damage at the same time, right? That would be either targeting physical defense or mental defense. In this case, I probably would say it is would be targeting physical defense, because it'd be some sort of like holy fire, and holy fire would be half physical or half fire, half holy. That'd be super cool, right? But it's targeting physical defense, right? Because you're throwing it and hitting somebody with it. Or maybe it's like summoning a fire up from the, it's some sort of evil flames or something like that. If you want to have some sort of green flames, this is for you, Mai. If you want to have some green flames, you could easily do green flames, and that would be half fire damage, half unholy damage, and it would be targeting mental defense, right? These fires just swirl up around you from the ground. The ground cracks open, and green flames rush out of it and swirl around you. Mental defense. That's targeting mental defense. That doesn't matter how much armor you have on, bro. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? Targeting mental defense, half the damage. The damage source would be like 2 points of fire and 2 points of unholy. Oh, super cool. Anyway, there's that. See, I just got too excited just now. Caleb Reeves, 100%. This is going to be a Kickstarter. It's for the physical copies. 100% going to be a physical copy of the hard books. Yes. And then can't help it, Liam. I see you. Holy Smite. Yes. Paladins have Divine Smite, and that deals holy damage, and it's a physical. It's on their blade, right? Physical. You know what I'm saying? You got it. 323 Starlight. What's up? Oh, all the people coming in, swinging in. Let's go. All the familiar faces. All right, cool. What would you say Sauron's physical defense and mental defense would be? Ooh, baby. Sauron, let's see, that would be level 20 immediately, so that's going to hit the 10, so 10 plus 8 is 18. He'd be wearing heavy armor, so that his might would be probably 7, we'd say, because that's the max that you can get your highest attribute up to, so it'd be 7. So what we said, we're at 18 plus 7 is 25. And so 25, and then plus his armor, and his armor is for sure going to be the max. So 3, 4, 5. So 5 would be on top of the 23 is 27. And he's probably wearing at least the plus 3 magic armor. So 30. So Sauron's armor class would be 30. And I tried to talk that out loud if anybody was able to hang with that, as far as the potential of max level high craziness. But the fact that I can even hypothesize, the fact that I can even hypothesize what his armor class would be really shows how cool the different pockets and structure of the game is, to be able to kind of estimate and know that already. So heck yes. And then okay, cool. So now back to the drawing board, or the board. I don't know. And then you had a good question yesterday. Let me know if you think of it. Starlight. And then okay, cool. Yes, and there is the burning condition, holy damage and agility save for the burning condition. Exactly. 100%, my. That is exactly how that. Oh my goodness. See what I did there, All right, anyway. So armor. Getting into armor now. So for the armor, I got to show y'all something else here. Hold up. Let me pull up the big screen here, and then bring over the. Yep, here we go. Armor. I'm gonna go full screen on y'all. Actually, you know what? It'd probably be better if I did this screen and just put it here. Let's see if that's better. Let's see if that looks better. Huh? Oh, wait. No. Okay. Huh? There we go. Look at that. That's great. Look at that. That's a great little shot right there. Boom. Look at that. All right. So here's the tables for armor: light armor, heavy armor, shields. Bam! Right. This is what things are looking like right now. These are the super simple. It's just a simple system, guys. The only thing asterisk is don't pay attention to cost table right now. The cost table is not a thing. Don't worry about the cost table. One of the last things we will do is cost of things, right? I got to get everything out there so we can compare it all to each other. So anyway, this is huge. So how armor works. Light armor, at the beginning of the game, you will have a novice set of light armor or a novice set of heavy armor, depending on what kind of what your class gives you at the beginning. You will either get novice light armor or novice heavy armor. What you flavor that armor looks like, go for it. Say whatever you want it to be. Is it pad? Is it like thick padding? Is it like have little mini plates of armor? Is it like chain drapery? What? I don't care. Whatever you want to describe it as, it's open to be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say like, oh, this is this kind of armor and it has to look this way to have this armor class. You know what I'm saying? No. There is light armor and heavy armor. There is novice, adept, and expert of each category. There we go. Don't need to get any more complicated than that. And if you want to have a cool, super spiky piece of armor and this and this and that, have it be whatever you want. Have it look like however you want. And it can fit into one of these pockets of novice, adept, or expert. Now, that super cool Sauron armor I talked about. Oh, for sure, expert armor with all this crazy stuff it's got going on. And. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Freedom. Yes, right? There we go. 7 feet, 2x4 gold, weighs 27 pounds. It makes 1,000 golds. Gold is heavy. You know what? Stargate Mind. I'm copy pasting that sentence you just said because that sounds real cool. If that's based on historical stuff, that's super cool. Thank you for that. I love that Stargate Mind. So. Anyway, that is kind of that's what armor looks like. So in general, to look at light armor, it has physical defense of +1, +2, or +3 as you go up from novice to expert. There's no actually we probably could even remove that. That's an out of date situation. There's not an agility limit to it, is what this used to be. That's interesting. Anyway, might requirement, there's no might requirement, only one, or 0 might requirement and 1 might requirement to wear the expert armor. It's going to be a little bit bigger. You got to have a might requirement of 1 is really low. It just can't be your dump stat, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then agility checks are totally fine. But if we look at heavy armor, right? Heavy armor over here, agility checks are at disadvantage for all of it. You're wearing freaking heavy armor with a bunch of metal on it. Agility checks are at disadvantage. All agility checks, acrobatics, trickery, and stealth, there we go, are at disadvantage. Ooh dang, heavy armor. But don't worry, stay with me for a second. Don't revolt on me now. Hold up. There's a bigger might requirements of 1, 2, and 3. Super simple. Damage reduction, baby. We just talked about damage reduction. 1, 2, and 3. And light armor's oh, that's what it's supposed to be. Hold up. There we go. The damage reduction here, nothing, right? Oh wait, you can only add. Okay, this is. Oh, I should have probably gone to the. This is on the Word document, and it's not in the Notion folder. The one in the Notion folder is more up to date. But anyway, you get the idea from this, right? The two things here I want to show here is with armor, and this is the part I also just love the modularity of it, and this is going to get expanded on in further expansions, like with armor expansions and crafting expansions and other things that I have in store. But you can add the reinforced property to any armor, and if you do that, it increases your physical defense by 1, right? Increase physical defense by 1, but you can only add a certain number of agility to your armor. In fact, let me actually go back here. Let me go, where to go? Oh, there's Alkander. All right, cool. Let's go to armor. Hold up. Simple and elegant. Thank you, Tyler. Let's go. Stargate reference. What? Okay. Let's go to armor. Where is armor? So defense, equipment here. We're going to armor, weapons, weapon table, armor table. There we go. Armor table, light armor. There we go. Okay, cool. And then armor types, bulky, reinforced. Light armor only add a maximum of 2 agility to your total physical defense. Oh yeah, that's it. That's right. And I think that's what this says. I think that's what that says over here. So I think we're okay. But you can. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. So sorry, we're back now. I should have finished reading it. So reinforced light armor increases your physical defense by 1. Right? So it increases your physical defense by 1, but you can only add a maximum of 2 from your agility to your total physical defense. So if your agility is 0, 1, 2, then you're fine here, because the maximum you can add from your agility is 2. And your physical defense increases by 1. But if you have higher agility, you might not want to put this on there. You might not want to reinforce it and restrict it because you're more nimble than that, right? So this is cool little properties you can pay gold for to add this property onto any of these armors, right? You can add the bulky property. The bulky property increases physical defense by 1. Just like this increases physical defense by 1, but its drawback is you now have disadvantage on the stealth and acrobatics checks because you're all bulky over here, right? So you can take light armor and add an effect to it. And then in the future, whenever you have light armor that's made out of the hide of an Umber Hulk, it also has, you see what I'm saying? And you can add these little effects and little modifications onto your armor from the base template that we already have. And it's all very cleanly structured, right? Meanwhile, over in heavy armor, you can take the mobile. You can take any of these heavy armors and take it to the blacksmith and be like, "Hey, can you make this more mobile? I want to be able to move a little bit better in this." All right, no problem. Let me get through it. And he goes over and and does a modification to your armor and reduces the damage reduction by 1. Oh no, you reduce the damage reduction by 1, but now you ignore the disadvantage to ability checks. So you can customize your armor and change this to a 0, and that, so you could literally be like, all right, I lose a damage reduction, but I also lose that. There's my new suit of armor. See what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to undo that because I don't want to mess with my table. But you get the idea, right? And you can do the same thing up here. And if you wanted to, if you have some gold on you, you could do it here, bring that down to a 1, and then remove the disadvantage here, and then dang, you now have essentially a novice piece of armor, but no disadvantage. Oh, how nice. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how beautiful this whole thing works. I think it's beautiful. I don't know. And then the dense reduces physical defense by 1, but increases damage reduction by 1. Ooh, you're sacrificing your physical defense, but increasing the damage reduction. Love that choice. Anyway, there is the big picture for that. And then there's your shields, a thrown shield, mounted shields. Super simple 1 armor class or 2 armor class. But that's pretty simple right there. So there you go. Whoop, what? We lost the notion. Oop, there we go. Sweet. And we're back. There's armor. Boom. Back to the chat. What are you guys thinking? What we thinking, people? What we thinking? 25 pounds in one hand, 7 in the other. Carrying all the gold. What about using AP to increase your physical defense as a reaction to an attack? Yes, Samuel, that is a thing. That is one of the fighters. That's a defensive maneuver you can take. And there's also a fighting style for fighters to take that has to do with spending action economy like that to increase your physical defense. And there's also action economy you can spend to increase your physical defense and then spend more action economy to block a thing for an ally. You can spend action points to buff your own armor for your own attacks. Or if you're adjacent to an ally, you can spend action points to increase your physical defense and then jump in front and block somebody for oh man. Right? See what I'm saying? All right, anyway. And let's see. Due to the chart, it looks like a character using heavy armor and a kite shield will have triple disadvantage, 3d20 take the lowest on all agility checks. Hold up. A character using heavy armor and a kite shield. Heavy armor and a kite shield. Oh, yeah. Kite shield, disadvantage on agility checks. So that was triple disadvantage. Oh, they roll 3d20 to take the lowest. Technically, that's double disadvantage, or it would be called disadvantage 2. Yeah, it'd be disadvantage 2. Yeah, exactly. Disadvantage. So disadvantage is roll 2d20s, take the lowest. So that disadvantage, like regular disadvantage, is technically disadvantage 1, right? Because you're rolling 1 additional dice from the normal one you normally roll, and you're taking the lowest. So disadvantage 2, it's disadvantage and in parentheses 2. That is rolling 2 disadvantage dice and then the original, and then obviously that's a total of 3, and you take the lowest. So yes, you are correct, Mai. If you have a kite shield and you're trying to stealth around with a kite shield out, then yes. But one thing I would say is if your kite shield's on your back, that's actually an interesting thought. If your kite shield is on your back, would that give you disadvantage? So I'm actually going to go here in the document, and I'm going to pull up my notes, and I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to make a note to think about that and think on that. Kite shield on your back versus wielding it to grant the disadvantage on agility checks or not? Love it, Mai. What a great thought, right? And then modular weapon. Are you going to add modular weapons by his chance as well? Modular weapons, kind of. I'm going to show the weapon system. And oh man, there's no way we can get to the weapon system right now. There's no way we can get to the weapon system. I'm looking at the time right now. There's no way. So the weapon system is not necessarily modular. It has pockets of different weapons and different types of weapons that have different properties of those weapons, right? I'll show a sneak peek here in a second, but we'll get into the rest of it in the next live stream for sure. But let me finish answering these questions. Are you going to add... Okay, there's modular weapons. And then Liam with another super chat. Stop it, Liam. Speaking of customization, you can change the damage type of weapons. You could like you could in Alkinders. Yeah. So the thing for all y'all to know, for the behind the scenes of, is before all of the OGL debacle stuff, right? Before all of that, the plan was to make a Kickstarter that would have been live right now. The Kickstarter was going to be for an armor crafting system, for weapons and armors and shields and trinkets and how to craft items and enchanting items. It was just going to be a crafting and gold economy, how to run gold, how to use gold, different economy systems, how much gold costs, all that types of stuff. That was going to be the thing of the Kickstarter, right? Big project, almost like a little follow-up to Alkinders, an expansion for crafting, right? It was also one of the stretch goals of Alkinders. I never thought we were going to hit the stretch goals that we already did, right? The next stretch goal that Alkinders Almanac didn't hit was crafting system, right? So we had stuff for the crafting system. We had a whole concept of things in the crafting system. It had been starting to be worked on, and then didn't happen. So then after Alkinders Almanac was done, work was started on the crafting system, and then OGL, bang, right? So this whole crafting system that's very, very far along and pretty good, right? That's going to be used for DC20 now. And the crafting system is going to be a part of DC20. And if there's enough interest in it, and when that time comes, we'll see. But we might do something where we publish the crafting system, version of it for Alkinders, a version of it for DC20, and a version of it for D&D 5th edition. And there might be two, because conversion between the two is going to be fairly simple, and we might take that on to do that if there's enough interest in it. But right now it is slated for DC20. DC20 will have a legit crafting system, and I think DC20 also, I'm biased on this point, but I think DC20 is very easily built for crafting. With the by 5 system, it's just so smooth to fit into a crafting system of making checks towards and having certain amount of crafting points you get to build and create, and you need a certain amount of crafting points to be able to whatever, right? And every 5 you exceed by, you gain an addition. You know what I'm saying? It's just so smooth. It's so smooth within DC20. But anyway, and then Kite Shield. Doesn't help frontal attacks, but gets to attack advantage enemies. Oh, on your back? You're talking about just a kite shield in general. Okay. Modify heavy armor until it behaves like light armor and vice versa. Honestly, yeah. So bold, not bad. You could do modifications to heavy armor to start to kind of have it work a little bit like light armor. You know what I'm saying? And you could also make a bunch of modifications to light armor to beef it up, to try and be a little bit more like heavy armor. You totally could. I love that you saw that. I love that you saw that. That was a purposeful design intention, that you can customize armor through gold and through, blacksmiths and crafting and other things like that. So yes. Love that. Love that you saw that. So there's that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little sneak peek here. I'm going to do a little sneak peek here of the weapon system, and then let's go to it. I'm going to do a little sneak peek here of the weapon system, and then actually no, I'm going to show it to you here. So weapon system. Oh God, no, we're going to go here, and we'll put it there. And then we'll go down here. Oh, and so I got to small this down and raise this up. Oh, there we go. It looks good there. Okay. Weapons, right? So here's kind of what weapons look like, right? So here's axes, okay? There are there's probably about 12 different styles of weapons. And when I say style of weapon, I'm talking about axe, sword, hammer, picks, chained weapons like a ball and chain, puncture weapons like a morning star, stuff like that. There's different types of weapons, different categories, and we call them weapon styles, the different types of styles of weapons that there are, right? Each of those types of weapons, right? Each of those different weapons have 5 variations of them that you will see are very similar and follow a general theme, and it's very easy to remember and shift around between them, because I don't want somebody to use this weapon and be like, well, what about this weapon? What is that? Oof, right? So if you notice right here, the damage, we have 3 light weapons and 2 heavy weapons. 3 light weapons, 2 heavy weapons for each of them, right? The lightest of the babyest weapon deals a base of 1 damage. This is the tiniest little bitty sickle, little bitty club. Look at the hammers over here. We got a club. Deals 1 damage. Super simple. But it has the thrown property of 5 to 15 spaces, right? In DC-20, the distance is measured in spaces, like number of spaces on a grid. Very simple. It's not like, 15 feet. But 15 feet divided by 5 is 3, and that's how many 3 squares. Or 5, 10, 15, you have to count by 5s? No. It's a distance of 5, so it's 5 squares. Very simple as far as playing the game, right? Another game design decision. Anyway, so these little baby weapons have a thrown property and a concealable property, where you have an advantage on attack if you use it and you draw it, and you can like draw an attack with it from hiding or whatever. Concealable, right? So every single of the baby weapons have a baby weapon, 1 damage, thrown, concealable. Club, 1 damage, thrown, concealable. Let's go to swords. Swords, that version is called a dagger. Surprise, it's a bladed sword weapon. The small version of that, of the sword category, is a dagger. A small sword is a dagger. Makes sense, right? 1 damage and thrown and concealable. You get the idea, right? So going back to here, the next level up is 2 damage and it's just thrown. You lose the concealable property, you gain a damage, and it still can throw it. So that's a throwing axe, a hand axe, right? Then for the light weapons, and then people that don't have, classes that don't have access to heavy weapons, right? Because there's 2 categories of weapon mastery, light weapons and heavy weapons, right? Kind of like simple weapons and martial weapons, but it's light and heavy, which I think makes more sense anyway. So battle axe / scythe, those weapons, a battle axe you can wield with 1 hand for 2 damage, but it has the versatile property, meaning you can grab it with 2 hands and deal 3 damage. Great, right? That is the 2-handed version. So the best 2-hander you got for light weapons is a 3 damage. There you go, right? And then for heavy weapons, you have a halberd and a great axe. And all weapons work like this. You have for the heavy weapons, there's 2 versions. The first version is 3 damage with reach, and the other damage is 4, or the other one is 4 damage without reach. Simple. Look at the maul, or look at the hammer section. A lucerne and a great maul. It's 3 damage with reach and 4 damage with no reach. Very simple. Very simple, y'all. Right? And there we go. And I'll say this, the last little bit of nugget here, and this is what we're going to get into next live stream, because we're in overtime right now. But we're going to get into next live stream, is every single weapon and this was a bold thing to undertake, and it was a bold thing to try and balance and all that kind of stuff, is every single weapon has a passive property and an active property, but you only gain access to the passive and active properties if you're a martial class, because martials know how to use weapons well, right? So if you're a martial class, you gain access to passive weapon properties and active weapon properties of using certain abilities to like chop with an axe or duel with a sword, whatever, or whip, like certain whip thing. Right? You get the idea, right? We'll get into all of those in next live stream. So I'm going to check out some of these super chats I guess I fell behind on. And then we'll see what goes on from there. And then Caleb W, what's up? Thank you, Caleb. Caleb, first time super chat. Appreciate you, Caleb. Just want to say thanks, Coach. Oh man, all your videos over the years. First, oh man, it's crazy to read that. I haven't finished reading it. It's crazy to hear over the years. Really just hit me hard right there. That I've been doing this over the years. That's wild to hear that. All of your videos over the years and every PDF that I've bought has helped me make my game so much better. Oh, Caleb. Oh, bro. Thank you, bro. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. I appreciate that. And that's the goal. That's the goal, is any sort of way this game we play, whether it be every week, whether it be every other week, whether it be once a month, however often, I want to try and make that experience as best as possible, whether it be through a system or a rule or an item, whatever it is. Appreciate that, Caleb. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Bold Not Bald said, screw D&D. Just leave the crappy system for DC-20. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. Next super chat is from Wolves. How? Let's go. Getting it in before the end. Love you, Coach. And DC-20. Guys, the super chats are supposed to be like these questions you ask about the game, and you ask you to do a super chat to get a question. But you guys are just killing me with the love, y'all. I feel it. I appreciate you. And you just want to... Wolves just wanted to get in the super chat before the end of the stream. Appreciate that. And you did it in overtime. Appreciate you, dude. Anton with another super chat. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Anton Ryder? Yeah, I think that's right. Anton Ryder, first time super chatter. Appreciate you. I love what you're doing here. No notes. Oh man. Also, I saw the straw. I saw the straw in your water balls upside down. Thanks for all you do, Coach. Freaking Anton noticed my straws upside down. His straws. Hey, this is for you. This is for you, Anton. It's cold. The top is cold. You want to know why the straw's upside down? Here's why the straw's upside down. And this is kind of throwing my wife under the bus. So sorry, babe, if you're watching. But this is why it's. Let me see if I can show it. This is why. Because the top of it's chewed up because my wife chews up straws. She like. It's like a little. So I hate like drinking on the vertical, like the straw whenever it's vertical like that. So I'm like, man, I'm just gonna switch it around. But for you, Anton, I'm gonna stick it like that, just because you had the freaking awareness to dial that in. So appreciate you, Anton, and I love what you're doing here. No notes, appreciate you, dude. That's freaking hilarious. Horse in the Sands, another first time super chatter. Thank you guys, appreciate y'all. Let's go. I do love me some armor and Western customizations and crafting. Let's go. Also, I can't wait to see what ship combat will be like. So ship combat, mass combat, air to air ship combat, sea to sea, like water boats, water ship combat, air ship combat, land, all that kind of stuff. There's gonna be things for that, and there's also going to be a combat system. I have not talked about this yet. Horse in the Sands is the first time has gotten me to even hint at this. There is another system of combat. In DC-20, there will be 2 different types of combat. Kind of like a skill challenge. So there will be simple combat, and there will be I'm not going to call it simple and advanced combat. There is like quicker combat, and then there's full combat, right? The quicker combat is going to be more so structured like a skill challenge, where everybody does something, and then depending on how well they roll and how whatever they say and whatever tactics they use and abilities they use, whatever, it's going to be very quick flashes of combat that heavily tells story. It's fast. It doesn't take forever. You can keep telling the story. And these, like, I can't tell you how many times I'm running a module, a Curse of Strahd. I can't tell you how many times there's these little combats that are just like, you roll for initiative and you do all these things, and it's just this piddly little combat that really doesn't matter in the big picture of things. It's purely designed, spoiler alert for players, it's purely designed to drain resources of players, make them use their abilities, make them take damage, make them use healing, whatever, right? It's just designed to wear them down in the adventuring day towards the actual real combat that you want to really get your teeth into, right? So in DC20, there is a system for how that works, of a system where you can have little bitty combats that are actually fast, tell big stories, have big epic moments, and you can do those. And then there is the full combat system, and I've only been talking about the full combat system. I have not said anything on this other one, but that's another thing that you can do for ship to ship combat, because that easily will be applicable for that as well. So woohoo! And then 323 Starlight with another super chat. Thank you, guys. Definitely love what I'm hearing, especially the simpler rules in combat. Let's go. Might even use DC20 as a base for campaigns based on video games. Yes, you totally, guys. Like Pokemon, you could easily do Pokemon in DC20. Even the base classes are kind of like lean into, and it's just, you could absolutely, super cool, super cool. I love it. So let's go. Paraj, let's go. Great job, buddy. We met at GaryCon. You're the yes, let's go. The geneticist. Let's go, Paraj. Let's go. First time posting. Welcome, Paraj. I met Paraj at GaryCon at an Ed Greenwood speaking. What's it called? I was about to say TED Talk at the convention. His speech, his event, whatever it's called. So what's up, Paraj? Hey, I have your contact information, and I have you under the section on DC20 master sheet. I got you on there, so stay tuned for that, dude. You'll be hearing from me. And then Caleb with another super chat, guys. We're already in overtime, and y'all are continuing this whole thing. Caleb with the super chat. All right, you've convinced me. I'm re-downloading Patreon. I don't know. I wasn't trying to convince you of anything, but I of course super appreciate that. Again, Patreon is how all of this is possible, and I have been throwing in more and more rewards towards Patreon for that reason, because I would not be able to be making this game that hopefully so many people will be able to see and play and be like, oh my gosh, I can now tell the stories I want to play. I can do these things. I can feel the freedom to be able to play the game and not have to worry about some of the clunkiness of these things I'm trying to fix. So appreciate you for that, Caleb. Liam with another super chat. Liam, bro, stop it with the super chats, bro. You told me at the beginning, and now you keep doing these. I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you too much for you to keep super chat. And Mass Combat? Question mark. Mass Combat is an Alcander's Almanac of all things, 100%. And things like mass combat, ship-to-ship combat, water, all these types of things are going to be, and so many more are going to be a part of the DC20 universe. It's going to be a part of the campaign world setting. It's going to be a part of so many things. And there's so many different expansions and other things I want to do for DC20. I want to have the core rule book that is good for, that's all you need. Bango, bango, boom, boom, boom. And then if you want to go next level as a dungeon master, you should be able to run the game off with this in the core rule book. But if you want to go next level, there's going to be a game master guide. But it's actually going to be a good game master guide that actually really truly helps and gives a whole bunch of tools in the Game Master Guide. And then there's going to be a monster manual, a spell tome, all these different things. And there's going to be a Tasha's Cauldron of an expansion for like the players type of stuff of like classes and ancestries and other extra cool stuff to add on to the game. And then there's going to be more like packages, themed rules around stuff like mass combat, ship combat, all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be pocketed thematic booster packs to be able to keep this game growing and give you the things that you want to get. Because not everybody probably needs mass combat. But if you do want it, whoo baby, And Alcanar's Mass Combat is so much fun. So much. Anyway, and the Horse in the Sands, guys, y'all are just keeping this thing rolling. What's going on here? Horse in the Sands with another super chat. I'm not sure if you saw this from Liam, but Sauron has a stat block. Wait. Sauron has a stat block? Sauron has a stat, like a D&D stat block? He has a D&D stat block, or he has a DC 20 stat block? Who's making DC 20 stat blocks? Leather-bound collector's edition for the system. Oh man, I'm gonna have to talk to my publishing company about that and see what that even looks like. What would that even be? What would that even, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that something? Should I do that? Oh, I have to make a poll and do some stuff on that, because that is something that's super cool, and I've never even thought about doing. So just because you said that, Grand Old Dwarf, I will look into that. So that's crazy. And then Barktavius. Barktavius, what a cool name. Barktavius with a $20 super chat. Thank you, bro. I am also working on a new game. Let's go, game design, bro. And these live streams have helped me keep these live streams have been helping me keep motivated. Yeah, it's weird how we line up on some stuff. This is for the wife's straw fund. I chew on them too. I always love telling her anytime somebody specifically super chats towards her. So I will. Yeah, it feels so weird in the mouth. Especially if you get it vertical. Oh, it feels... Horizontal is actually not too bad, because then it's like, you know... But anyway, I will let her know that as soon as this live stream's done. So I appreciate you for that, Barktavius. And I've loved so many times whenever I hear people... First of all, obviously, like, DC 20 is going to be a full game system. You can play it and all that kind of stuff. Great, awesome, cool. But I also love, and it obviously speaks to me. If you know anything about me over the years, you now have to know it speaks to me what Barktavius is saying about this game system helping people make their game system, right? Because people out there are playing all sorts of variations. I would even say some people are playing versions of D&D that aren't even D&D. You know what I'm saying? It's so homebrewed, or it's so this, or it's so that, or they've combined and meshed. Oh, this, and they have their own version of the game. And I love so much that DC 20 is now fodder, or is now like a pool of resources to be able to. You know what? Actually, if I scrap this thing right here, I could just put that right there, and that one actually, you know what I'm saying? I love that. I just got chills. So I appreciate that, Barktavius, for real. And like, from a game developer to game developer, you know what I'm saying? Like people that want to fix and change rules, and like, oh, this could be the way to do it. I love that, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. So there we go. That is the stream, people. Y'all are awesome. Always look forward to these. And I'm not... we do this every other week. I'm out of town next week. We're going on a little mini family vacation to a little like Yogi Bear themed park for my 3-year-old's birthday. And then I will be back the week after that for another live stream, and we'll get back into the weapon system and keep going from there. And in fact, let me pull up to see what's on the rest of the docket here. We got the DCs, how DCs work in DC 20, magic system, Death's Door, character creation. Oh, we're getting into some spicy stuff here, y'all. We're moving through. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Stay creative. Mockmans. What? Stay creative. Stay outside the box, y'all. Peace.